Hi guys, my name is Nikita and I'm a game sound designer. In this video tutorial I would like to show you how to use Phaseplant to create debris sounds out of any source material pretty much. Oftentimes you don't have a lot of source material to go through, and this can be a lifesaver if you need to create a lot of variations, which is often the case in game development. So let's not waste any more time and jump straight into it. Right, so first things first, I have prepared some samples, some basic debris samples. Yeah, so let's see what we can do with Phaseplant. So Phaseplant has an amazing granular synthesizer built in. It's one of the latest features in the synth. And quite honestly, it's quite groundbreaking because it has a lot of features which other synths do not really have. For instance, you can align phasers, create a warm start. Align phasers is particularly useful when you're doing any tonal sounds, as it will keep the phase in check, which is quite useful because that way your sound's not gonna phase out and create that phaser effect. But we don't really need this one at the moment. We're mostly interested in this section, which is amazing as well because you can create any curves. This is the grain envelope section, and this pretty much controls the amplitude shape of the grains that we're going to be triggering, which is really useful. Yeah, so basically we load our granular module here, and we drag and drop any sound here pretty much. We've loaded our sample. Let's have a listen to it really quick. At the moment, it does not sound like much. But let's increase the position value first. This will ensure that the granular engine will try to grab grains from any point in this audio file. So let's have a listen to it now. Already you can see where it's going. It's creating basically a lot of random snippets of this audio. If we play with this grain envelope, its length, we can also adjust how we want it to play. This way we create like fast impacts really. We can make it even shorter. Or we can keep it at like 1 second and make this line more logarithmic. Maybe shorter. As you can see, this is very useful. The next few things we're interested in is timing variation. I usually put it quite high. Pitch variation, you can put it to any extent depending on the sample. The level variation, randomization, panning randomization, and reverse. You really do not need reverse in this case, but it's useful to have. Yeah, so let's see how it sounds now with all the randomized parameters. The sound is obviously not there yet. We're getting there, but it's not there yet. So the great thing about Phaseplant is you can pretty much modulate anything from anywhere. So let's modulate the amount of grains and the length of the grain envelope. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create 2 envelopes. One is gonna control the grain envelope length, and the other is gonna control how many grains is in the loop. Let's try that. So if you think about it, when you crash something, it's gonna be a lot of short sounds in the beginning, and then they're gonna become more and more sparse. So let's try to mimic this. So first of all, we're gonna bring this grain amount down, and we're gonna modulate it with our ADSR. Let's say we're gonna do 30. Let's hear how it sounds now. That sounds quite decent. Let's adjust it a bit. That already sounds like a really nice debris layer. Let's play with the decay a bit. So we increase it by 1 second. And now let's map this envelope to the grain envelope time. Let's shorten it as well. First of all, we're going to shorten it. And we're not going to go this way now. We're going to go the other way. So we want, over time, we want this. First is going to shorten, and then it's going to ramp up and increase the millisecond time. Let's have a listen now. It already sounds quite neat. Let's increase the decay value of this envelope as well. And let's increase the attack. Short attack here, short attack here. Let's see how it sounds now. You can obviously play with this a lot. Let's remove the attack. Sometimes it sounds a bit weird, so you may want to, on the actual volume envelope, create the shape you want. So let's do this now. Let's create the shape. Let's remove the decay. And, well, I'm being a bit stupid. Sorry, mate. Excuse me. And we're gonna increase the release time. Maybe let's put this a bit further up, change the envelope a bit again. Yeah, so we might want to remove sustain altogether and just use the decay value. You may want to use this kind of shape as well. Again, the great thing about Phaseplant is there's so much flexibility you have. So for instance, you want to randomize this. That's really simple. You just create this randomization curve. Let's put it to 0 Hertz, and it will, at 0 Hertz, it will reset on each MIDI trigger. So let's map this to decay, this decay, maybe this decay, and maybe this thing as well. Let's see how it sounds now. Sounds a bit. Maybe we'll want to remove this thing. Yeah, sometimes it does create some artifacts and it sounds a bit weird. I don't think I actually wanted to do this, so let's remove. Let's just do it like a different way. I think this decay time is just way too high, so let's bring this down a bit. So now we have quite a lot of variation in there. We can also distort the sound based on the envelope. So let's assume this is a really loud impact and we want to sell the size of it. So you can obviously map, for instance, this envelope to drive. Bring the drive a bit lower, and let's see what happens now. Also, we can use a filter, all-pass filter, which will create some randomization in the sound to slightly offset the phases. Let's see how this sounds. Sometimes it does sound weird, but you can always adjust or record the best takes. Just try it a bit. And that's already a really nice debris sound, and we get basically limitless random debris hits just by using this technique. So what we can do is we can create a few MIDI clips. So let's do this right now. We're gonna create a few MIDI clips here and just trigger them from here. Trigger them like this. And just let's duplicate them. And let's just render them out. And let's see what we've got. Yeah, unfortunately, this is a bit too much. Let's do this again. Some really nice sounds in there. Again, I would definitely spend some time adjusting the values, because this can significantly change the overall sound. Let's try rendering this again. As you can hear, this sounds absolutely amazing. We just got so many variations from just this one sound, and we can do as many as we want, really. It doesn't matter. But we don't have to stop there. We can copy paste this, and we can just load a different sound. Let's try this one. Why not? And let's just use the same settings and see how it sounds together. We can also just go in and pitch it up and down. Let's make a low. So let's make a low layer for this. You may want to adjust based on the sound you're going after. You may want to adjust, maybe increase this. That's already a quite decent impact. Obviously, you would want to include a better transient, but you can design it quite quickly, and it does not take much time with this method. And maybe you want to create a glass shatter sound, like when someone's breaking a mirror or a wooden window. So let's try doing that. So I prepared some glass sounds. Let's just use this. And let's see what we can come up with. We might want to increase the grain size for the glass. And maybe you want some more shard sounds. Let's get this layer. Obviously, this is not perfect at all. You would probably want to get rid of all the stereo stuff because you don't really need it, or maybe you need it. Depends on the situation again. But I'm just gonna cut a lot of side information. Obviously, you can adjust the layers how much you want. I love bikers; they're amazing. Obviously, you can adjust the layers as much as you want. So let's try pushing the sound slightly further. Let's use Decapitator for... And then let's use Decapitator for sound saturation. Maybe a bit too much. And let's use a transient shaper to bring the transients up front. Let's bring the volume down a bit. As you can see, there's not much transient information in there, so let's add some transient information. You can also use some OTT. Let's bring this. Another life hack, try not to compress the higher regions because that's where all the noise is and you really don't want to bring that noise out. And we can use another transient shaper. Just bring it up. And let's add some sub bass. Let's make a tight punch. Bring the lower down. And let's stabilize the sound using ozone stabilizer. And let's get rid of some nasty frequencies we don't need. And let's bring the mids a bit up. Yep, so that's pretty much the process. The only thing I don't like this one, but we can always add more variation to it. Oh, sorry, we're playing... Yeah, so after fixing that, we have more cool sounds. And you may want to adjust the transient response again a bit more. At this point, we'll use newfangles but punctuate. And let's clip it as well. This punctuator is doing a bit too much. And let's bring it down. And another transient shaper, because why not? And let's put the stabilizer in the end of the chain. Again, you have to be really careful with your sound selection, because sounds that are too short can be really painful. So you have to watch out for that as well. Okay, these sound alright, not the best impacts I have done, but they're gonna clip like crazy as well. But we're in 32-bit, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, here's some impact sounds. Obviously, they don't sound great, but you get the idea. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this technique, and it's so blazingly fast that you can create so many variations that it's just basically a lifesaver. If you think about it, you might need to create 400 assets of different impact sounds, so this is just a lifesaver, really. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. And make sure to stick around, because I will be posting more videos soon as well. Thank you so much. Bye.